What do angels look like? Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. You know, in the past two programs we've talked about angels. We've discussed the fact that angels are really here and they're here to help you. And I shared a few incidents where angels made their presence known, either to help or to influence a situation. So today I'm going to answer another one of those questions that are out there regarding angels. Today's question is, what do angels look like? Well, angels can look any way they want to look. They have that power. We're all used to seeing angels portrayed as these beautiful winged creatures with flowing robes and bare feet. And sometimes they actually do appear that way with flowing robes and wings and bare feet. In my classes called Working with Angels, I've had many students meet their guardian angels, and they often describe their meeting with the guardian angel appearing just like that. Tall, wings, beautiful flowing robes. They're also, as I said, they're tall. They appear to be quite often 9 feet or bigger, just huge beings. Back in the early 2000s, I remember I was a guest minister at a church in Marin County, California. And while I was there, I was told a story by one of the parishioners regarding an angel happening. She claimed that a friend of hers was driving on one of the mountain roads, of which there are many in Marin County, and when the tire blew out and she lost control of the car. Now these roads are very narrow going up the side of these big hills. And so since they're so narrow, there was really nowhere to go but over the side of the road and down the mountainside. But miraculously, the car stopped. It went off the road, but it stopped with only one wheel hanging, the front wheel hanging over the side of the road. She had her 7-year-old daughter with her in the back seat, and when she looked back, the girl was safe, but obviously in shock at what had just happened. She reached back to comfort the girl, there were tears flowing down her eyes, down her cheeks. But before her hand could reach her daughter, the little girl said to her mother, "Did you see the angel? Did you see the angel?" Her mother asked, "What angel?" And the girl responded, "The angel that pushed the car back on the road so he wouldn't fall." So there had been an angel there holding the car back so that it wouldn't go totally off the road. When asked to describe the angel, the little girl described the beautiful angel with wings, the beautiful angel who was so big, the beautiful angel who fit the standard angelic description. So they do appear, as they are often portrayed in art, with gowns and wings and all that. But they don't have to appear that way. They don't have to appear with wings. They don't have to be super tall. Sometimes they can appear as streams of light, or as orbs of light, or as people, and sometimes even as things. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. The thumbs up button is down below the video. The subscribe button is on the lower right-hand corner of the screen, the logo. Remember, I would love to hear from you, your thoughts, your comments, and your questions. So you can use the chat box on the right side of the screen, or you can use the comment section below the video. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, according to Jeffrey Hudson, in his book Kingdom of the Gods, angels appear as streams of light that have the appearance, because of their structure, of what could be wings. As we can see here, they project the outline of a traditional angel, but are a lot more colorful and etheric. Additionally, he saw angels of incredibly great size. They were over mountaintops, as we can see with these mountain angels. He also saw them over bodies of water, as we can see with these illustrations of ocean angels. Angels can also appear as appear to be inanimate objects. Now, I've had two instances in my life where that happened. The first incident occurred at the time of my original ordination into the ministry. Now, the ordination ceremony was scheduled to take place in the early afternoon at the church. So, to calm my nerves, I went home, took a short nap before I changed clothes to go back to the service. Well, when I awakened from my nap, the stark white walls of my room were now covered in what looked like yellow damask wallpaper. The yellow patterns were covered with what appeared to be a suede coating, which I think is called brocade. So I had yellow damask brocade wallpaper on my white wall. And it was all over the room, across the ceiling, everything. I remember shaking my head to clear my eyes to see if it would go away. But when I did, it was still there. I remember opening and closing my eyes and rubbing my eyes to see if I was seeing things. But when I finished, it was still there. It was still there. Finally, I realized that it was my guardian angel who was surrounding me with its protection as I prepared to step onto the path that it had been guiding me to all along. So it was just giving approval. I immediately fell to my knees and I prayed in gratitude for the guidance I had received and for the presence of the angel who protected me. The wall appeared as yellow because my guardian angel vibrates with the color yellow. Whenever my guardian angel is around and wants to make itself seen in some way, I will get a yellow haze around me. So I accepted its presence and started getting dressed. By the time I finished dressing, the yellow brocade had faded away. Another instance of my guardian angel appearing as a thing occurred a few years after I was ordained. Okay, I was now a full-time minister of the Church of Amron, and I'd gained a reputation among the other ministers for my interpreting what I call signs and omens. Now, several people had asked me at the church to teach a class on the subject of how to interpret signs. So I decided to do one. I put it on the schedule. I called it Reading the Signs of God. Now, after I announced the class at our Sunday service, the lead minister, who was the co-founder of the church, teased me a bit about the class. He told the congregation that they should consider taking the class because it might be fun, and because besides Andrew is really good at reading signs. He said he could probably tell you what the spiritual message is behind your shoes coming untied. And everybody had a laugh at that seemingly ridiculousness of his statement. But as they were laughing, suddenly the outer doors, because this was a rented room that we had at a Fort Mason facility, the outer doors of the large room we had rented burst open with a bang. And we could hear the wind howling outside, the wind that had blown it open. And then gently bouncing in, despite the speed and the velocity of the wind, the ferocity of the wind, gently bouncing through the doors came this inflated yellow balloon, a regular-sized balloon, about 12 inches or so. It was strange because it was bouncing along gently. It was not being pushed by the strong wind behind it. And as it bounced gently into the room, when it got to the center aisle of the congregation, it made a right 90-degree turn, and started bouncing down the aisle. In spite of the wind going that way, it went this way. The wind was not affecting it. And it bounced gently along the center aisle, and then when it got to the front of the congregation, it took another slight right turn and headed toward the rostrum where I was sitting. And it bounced directly to where I was sitting and came to rest at my feet. Of course, I picked it up. But our senior minister, who was still standing at the lectern, was in a state of shock. And finally he said, "Did you see that?" Then he turned to me and said, "Talk about signs. What in the world was that about?" By this time I had the yellow balloon sitting in my lap, and I said, "My guardian angel vibrates in the color yellow. And they wanted you to know that learning to read the signs is not a joke." There was talk about that yellow balloon for many weeks following that. I found it quite amusing. You know, angels can also appear as human beings. You know, we've got them. They appear as themselves. They appear as waves of light. And they can also appear as inanimate things. But finally, they can also appear as human beings. They could be there present seemingly physically when the need arises. A few days ago, I shared with you the story of Sophie Burnham, the best-selling author of the book called the Book of Angels, where she described a near-death skiing accident where she was saved by a man in black, who she believes was an angel. I also shared a story told by Caroline Mace, the international spiritual teacher, who told the story of a woman who cried out for help from God because her hemophiliac son was bleeding to death on the floor of a restaurant, and he was saved by a man who mysteriously appeared, did what was necessary to stop the bleeding, and then disappeared. And so we have instances of that where an angel appears as a human being. There's another story, there are many, but there's another story of a young woman who missed her bus stop. She got off at the wrong bus stop and had to walk home through a neighborhood that was not very safe, a neighborhood that really scared her. And as she walked home through this unsafe neighborhood, she prayed for protection. And she kept praying for protection all the way during her walk. And when she finally arrived home, she offered prayers of gratitude for being protected on her way home through this bad neighborhood. Okay. A few days later, she saw an acquaintance of hers who also lived in her neighborhood. And the acquaintance mentioned, "Wow, those were a couple of big guys you were with the other night." And when she appeared kind of confused, she said, "What men?" And she said, "The two guys you were walking between when I saw you walking home the other night. You know, one on either side." She thought about that. The protection, so it seems the protection she had prayed for had actually arrived in the form of human beings. She just couldn't see them as they walked on both sides of her. She couldn't see them. But that wasn't the point. She didn't need to see them. Everybody else did. Two big burly guys, like bodyguards, walking with her. The angels, the angels, the angels are always around you. The angels are always ready to help. They require nothing from you except that you just believe. Just believe. Remember the words of Dr. Michael Grosso. Researchers have found from many types of studies that the less rigid one's mindset, the more likely it is that a paranormal force or idea will break into experience. The more unworldly our minds, the more detached from habitual patterns of response, the greater is our openness to the promptings from a higher reality principle. Yes. That's the more likely it is that extraordinary things will occur in our lives. Your belief in the possibility of angels opens your mind to recognizing their presence. And when you receive their help, just say, "Thank you." Don't rationalize it away. Just say, "Thank you." Don't dismiss it because it doesn't make sense. Just say, thank you. Don't deny it because you find the idea scary. Just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this we are truly grateful. As above, so below, as within, so without, and so it is. Amen. Thank you for watching. Please click on the thumbs up button below, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to hear from you. So send your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Please use the comment section below the video. Thank you very much for watching. I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind.